This is free talking on the nature of men, I suppose. And I've made a documentary film using the name Man Woman Myth. I can't remember what I called it now because I've had an injury now, a brain injury, which affects my memory severely. I called it Truth, Lies, and the War on Men, something like that. And I put that on YouTube. So, what I'm thinking now is, I suppose, the future for men and women, and something on the status now for men and women. Men in particular are what I'm addressing. It seems that nature has laid down the rules of the game, and the rules of the game seem to be men should pursue women for sex, and that would lead to babies and family and society. So everything works on the basis of men pursuing women for sex. So what I'm thinking now is that this creates a situation where men are basically programmed to pursue women for sex. That is principally the main purpose in life, it would seem, for men. Pursue women, have sex, have babies, and then family, civilization, etc. So, this programming within men, I think, has led to a situation where men are, in a sense, vulnerable. Men are controlled, and they're not in control of their own lives. There is, I suppose, an impossibility for men to have discipline over themselves. Men are essentially slaves to addiction to women. So I think this has created an unhealthy dynamic in the whole of society where men are subject to abuse basically by our systems of control, our judicial system, our social mores, the way we live basically means that men are supplicants, men are beggars, if you like, asking to have sex and then going on to create family. Men are, I don't know what the word is, they might be supplicant. Men are just asking and pursuing sex in order to, well, enjoy themselves, but then family results as well. I would say that I'm wondering what percentage of children were intended to be produced and what percentage were incidental consequences of sex. It's hard for me to make a judgment on that, but I suspect that most children born today were not intended to be produced. They were a consequence of sex, the pursuit of sex by men being such a high priority for men. Now, in my opinion, the pursuit of sex needs to be reduced in priority for men. There is the argument that the whole of life is about producing more life, creating more life. So to cut that out of what life is maybe very difficult and maybe impossible even. But I am thinking that if men are to control their destinies, if men are to control their own life and have freedom and choice, then sex has to be reduced greatly in priority, and that therefore children will be reduced in number. There will be less children created. So I am wondering how things will go and if men will change in any way as to how they regard sex. Because I am thinking that in my own life I've decided to no longer have sex. I won't pursue women, I won't have relationships, romantic relationships. And I've made this decision for a number of reasons. Principally, I suppose it comes down to I want to have control of my life and I want to be free. I don't want to have more children, but I just definitely want control of my life. And I think the main way I can see to do that is to not have sex with women. Because having sex with a woman for a man means giving up control and turning himself essentially into a prisoner to a woman. A woman holds all the cards in the mating game. And a man is essentially like a beggar. And he asks to have pleasure and to have the enjoyment of sex. But a woman is very much in control in that situation. And as I said, I want to have control of my life. And it would seem that the only way I can control my life is to not have sex. And that means controlling myself to not desire sex so much. Now, thankfully, I'm not finding that difficult to do. As good as sex is an activity that I can do without. There are other areas of life I suppose that I can focus on and achieve enjoyment and satisfaction. So for me, sex is not all that I can do without it. I do find it strange though to be thinking this way because I think in my life I've always assumed sex was a thing that was there and there to be achieved. I suppose it could be described as the main aim in life for men in general. And so nature has made it this way to produce children, and men followed the script. I'm not addressing the woman's perspective for now because I haven't thought much about that. It's just my perspective and the male perspective I'm looking at. So, my situation now is I am wondering what my life is and I am wondering if I can be content and happy not having sex. Initially, I'm finding that I can do this, so I suppose time will tell. But that is what I'm thinking for now, and obviously I'm glad about that. I'm having a memory problem due to a medical situation, and it affects my memory. So I've actually forgotten what I was trying to achieve with this talk. So I might have covered what I wanted to. I might not. I'm not sure. But I'll sign off now.